Malakim Bet, chapter 7. Elisha answered, "Listen to the word of Adonai. Here is what Adonai says. Tomorrow, by this time, 6 quarts of fine flour will sell for only a shekel, and half a bushel of barley for a shekel in the market, at the gate of Shomron." The servant on whose arm the king was leaning answered the man of God, "Why, this couldn't happen even if Adonai made windows in heaven." Elisha answered, "All right, you yourself will see it with your own eyes, but you won't eat any of it." Now, there were 4 men with tzara'at at the entrance to the city gate. They said to each other, "Why should we sit here till we die? If we say, 'We'll enter the city,' then the city has been struck by the famine, so we'll die there. And if we sit still here, we'll also die. So let's go and surrender to the army of Aram. If they spare our lives, we will live, and if they kill us, we'll only die." They got up during the twilight to go to the camp of Aram. But when they reached the outskirts of the camp of Aram, they saw no one. For Adonai had caused the army of Aram to hear the sound of chariots and horses. It sounded like a huge army. And they said to each other, "The king of Israel must have hired the kings of the Hittite and the kings of the Egyptians to attack us." So they jumped up and fled in the twilight, leaving their tents, horses, donkeys, and the whole camp just as it was, and ran for their lives. When these men with tzara'at reached the outskirts of the camp, they entered one of the tents, ate and drank, then took some silver, gold, and clothing, and went and hid it. Next they returned and entered another tent, took stuff from there, and went and hid it. But finally they said to each other, "What we are doing is wrong. At a time of good news like this, we shouldn't keep it to ourselves. If we wait even till morning, we will earn only punishment. So come on. Let's go and tell the king's household." So they came and shouted to the gatekeepers of the city, and told them the news. "We went to the camp of Aram, and no one was there. No human voice, just the horses and donkeys we tied up, and the tents left in place." The gatekeepers called and told it to the king's household inside. Then the king got up in the night. He said to his servants, "I'll tell you what Aram has done to us. They know that we're hungry, so they've gone outside the camp and hidden in the countryside, saying, 'When they come out of the city, we'll take them alive, and then get inside the city.'" One of his servants answered, "I suggest letting some men take 5 of the remaining horses that are left in the city. They're like everything else in Israel that remains, like everything else in Israel, practically finished, and we'll send and see." So they took 2 chariots with horses, and the king sent after the army of Aram, saying, "Go and see." They went after them all the way to the Yarden, and found the entire distance strewn with clothing and other articles Aram had thrown away in their haste. The messengers returned and told the king. Then the people went out and ransacked the camp of Aram, with the result that 6 quarts of fine flour was sold for only a shekel, and half a bushel of barley for a shekel, in keeping with what Adonai had said. The king put the servant on whose arm he had leaned in charge of the gate, and the people trampled him down in the gateway, so that he died, as the man of God had said he would, who spoke when the king came to him. For the man of God had said to the king, "Tomorrow by this time 6 quarts of barley will sell for only a shekel, and half a bushel of fine flour for a shekel, in the market at the gate of Shomron's." The servant had answered the man of God, "Why, this couldn't happen even if Adonai made windows in heaven." And Elisha had said, "All right, you yourself will see it with your own eyes, but you won't eat any of it." That is exactly what happened to him, because the people trampled him down in the gateway so that he died.